Thank you, Hindi team. Thank you, Dr. Neha. And even I was wondering, 75 participants watching Dr.
Yes.
Vinay's lecture. Thank you so much. Expecting the same thing will happen in future days also. Now we are beginning the English session. Thank you, Hindi team. Bye bye. So today is our 1967th day of continuous webinar. Thank you all the participants for joining with us. And before beginning the session, we'll have a silent prayer. Good evening and welcome once again. Thank you everyone. Today is our 1967th day of continuous webinar. Today's our speaker is Dr. Devangi Pandya. She's MD in Homeopathy, MBA in Hospital Administration. She's working as a professor in the Department of Repertory, and she's a PG Gate, Alumni and CEP coordinator of AHMC, and 14 years of teaching experience. And she's a consultant physician in Divya Homeopathic Medical College, Ahmedabad. And today she is going to talk about the batch flower remedies. She has already taken the classes about batch flower remedy. We are welcoming you to today's webinar. Thank you so much. You can unmute yourself and okay. Thank you, Doctor. Please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Means a lot. Yes, today we will be taking about the batch flower remedy group 3.
Okay.
Now, when even last time when I had started with batch flower group 2. But today I would like to add on certain things like why we discuss about this batch flower remedies, because everything which is related in our body, somewhere it is related with mind. So the psychosomatic illnesses which appear, that are because of the emotions. And how I'm into a system where we also learn about the emotional disturbances or energy frequencies. So our coach always tells us that emotion is E is equal energy in motion. So wherever your focus goes, your energy flows, and that grows more and more every time. So that is why emotions, wherever are disturbed, they affect the physiological system also of our body. And when the physiology is disturbed, that is from the limbic system, the different type of hormonal disturbances will occur, leading to which type of disorders. So that is why correlation of emotions with this batch flower remedy and homeopathy is much required in today's time. So let's move with the third group, that is of lack of interest. The first remedy of this group is chestnut bud, where the theme in this batch flower remedy, we particularly look forward with the theme of the remedies, with the sign and symptoms of the remedy, as well as its positive potential. So the theme of this remedy is lacking of interest in learning, while the person keeps on making same mistakes again and again, doesn't learn from whatever they had gone through or they have suffered with. Which are the sign and symptoms, possible sign and symptoms? That is, one is not learning from their own mistakes. They are generally impatient. They lack focus, easily get distracted, are very much careless and inattentive. Usually, or mostly indicated in children also, who are having slowness in learning, and even the habit of malingering. Malingering means stealing the things. Again, it is a part of repeated mistakes. Now, when the repetition of mistakes are there, the physical symptoms would also appear in the same manner, where there can be recurrent mouth ulcers. So it is always or better indicated in developmental disorders, ADHD, personality issues, anxieties, headache, and stammering. And when these people do repeated mistake, they do it in their front of house also, their office also, where if a family is into a table and they argue on something, then the child would keep on arguing without understanding why he's being told to stop the particular thing. And similar goes in the office. That is why it is indicative when repeated mistake and not learning from the same. What is the positive potential? It helps to increase the focus and attentiveness, making person much observant and bringing mental flexibility. The physiological impairment is that impaired learning feedback loop that is being affected, and the remedies which are key indicated or can be compared with the homeopathic ones are Baraita carb, Calcarea carb, Natrum mure, and Silesia. Calcarea carb, we know they are slow in learner and repeatedly make error. Baraita carb are immature and lack learning possibilities from their experiences. Natrum mure repeats emotional patterns due to unresolved grief, and Silesia are slow, comprehensive, rigid in learning patterns. Moving to the second remedy of this group, that is clematis. Usually blossom between July to September, and they are stated as dreamers, daydreamers, mostly into their own thought processes, wherein they are absent minded and living in the future or keep on thinking about some or the other activities. So, as it suggests, the name itself suggests, or the theme suggests, they are daydreamers, taciturn. Why taciturn? Because they keep on thinking about future, generally detached from the real world. Wherever they are present, they are not into the present state, though they are present at a particular place. They are very creative and their imaginative power is also very good. Why? Because they keep on thinking, and when their imagination keeps on increasing more and more, their ideology also increases, which helps them in their career on in future. That is why they are better with fashion designing, filmmaking, journalism, music. This remedy is also said as Monday morning blues because due to their daydreaming attitude, they will also not have a proper sleep. They will all constantly be into a thought process, and that is why when they wake up in the morning and when they have to proceed towards their routine, that is difficult. And one of the key remedy of crisis formula, Dr. Batch had designed rescue remedy have which is known as for crisis formula, and one of the remedy of that group is clematis. The sign and symptoms are joint pain. It is also indicated in varicose veins, headache, blister, weak memory, cold extremities, and low vitality. Now, here the certain sign and symptoms I have mentioned, but it is not necessary that that can be indicated in this only. If the emotional pattern is being observed, particularly of the remedy, apart from any physical symptoms, then this remedy can be indicative. Positively, it brings stability of mind and helps to focus into the present moment. In physiological aspect, it affects the sensory alertness and the CNS arousal is low. The remedies which are homeopathically correlated are acid phos, where there is mental dullness and dreamy state, cannabis indica, that is detached and lost in imagination, opium, drowsy, indifferent, and unrealistic feeling, pulsatilla, who is emotional and having changeable, dreamy state. Our third remedy today is honeysuckle. Honeysuckle is a very good remedy when the person is persistently living in the past. So it is also indicative for the people who have the habit of procrastination because they are not into the present state. Now, if we see the theme of the group itself is lacking of interest. So, but the lack of interest is differentiated so beautifully in each and every remedy that you can differentiate it well and prescribe into the medicine as a medicine. So the theme of this remedy is living in the past. The sign and symptoms are lack of interest in present circumstances, Homesickness is plus plus. That is why it is said as a good remedy for nostalgia, procrastination, which becomes a part of habit because they are not into the present state. So they will not do the things perfectly well and it lingers up, it adds on. And when the work adds on, there will be a type of this procrastination will come. Also indicated for resentment, and the theme or the main emotion here is the grief. Any internal grief, any trauma of relationship or any such things, if they have left the old school or old places, then the symptoms can appear. The physical symptoms or the diseases affected are rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes mellitus, UTI, and migraine. It helps to remove old wounds and abandonment issue, and it helps to appreciate the present circumstances and enhances mindfulness. When these remedies are prescribed, it honeysuckle I have been used in many of the patients and it gave wonderful result with all these people who have the habits of procrastination particularly. Physiologically, the memory area is affected over dominance over the present sensory processing. So, sensory area is affected due to the dominance of memory. The medicines are natramur, which dwells on the past. We know it very well. Ignatia, clinging to the past and emotional shocks. Acid phos, with mental weakness after grief. And carcinosin, with deep emotional memory patterns. Now, our fourth remedy is mustard. In mustard is causeless depression. Means without any cause, the particular person can go into a depressive state or become very sad. Mostly these flowers blossom between May to July. In these people, they have many reasons to be happy, but most of the time they are sad and joyless. They are hopeless and they are mostly inward and introvert. It is well indicated for those who have changed their place or state. They have too much of self pity and worthless feeling, and there is prolonged grief. I have seen like people are persist into an environment where there is function going on, but they are into a cornered place or they will not enjoy the present moment and they are into their sad, morose state. Here it is said that mustard is indicative in a causeless depression. But even when there are depressive state with certain type of causes, mustard gives very good result. So it is indicated in mood disorders as well as depression. Positively, it helps to break the negative cycle of thoughts and emotion and encourages joy. Obviously, when the depression is being relieved, the negative cycles will also be relieved and the emotional blocks will be removed and the person will be able to be into the present state. And everything in every remedy we see that the person will be able to enjoy the present moment. And when the person enjoys the present moment, then definitely the thought processes or the depression is definitely going to be absent. It is true in each and every areas of our life. Whenever we are into a circumstances and we delve into some other thought processes, our present gets disturbed, and our present gets disturbed, then it affects our future and it have already affected our past. And physiologically, it causes serotonin imbalance, and the remedies indicative in this group are natrum sulph, where there is periodic depression, aurum med, having deep melancholy and suicidal thoughts, sepia, for indifference and hormonal depression, Kali Phos for nervous exhaustion and sadness. This is the fifth remedy of our group, which is having lack of energy, fatigue, and convalescence. There is too much of lack of energy on physical as well as mental. There is lot of exhaustion, complete exhaustion. Person may not have much, but still the exhaustion is to the next level. Like traffic police, housemaids, or nurses, where they are persistently working and into their work process throughout the day without taking any type of breaks, and then they will feel exhausted, completely tired. It may be physical exhaustion or mental exhaustion. Both are, then Olive will work wonderful. So they generally try to push themselves much harder level and complete it with lot of efforts. Positively, it helps to regain energy even in long standing diseases. Tonic but nourishes the mind and body very well. Physiologically, there is adrenal exhaustion and fatigue on the mitochondrial level, and the remedies which are indicated here are Gelsemium, China, and Califos. Where in China we can see exhaustion from loss of vital fluid. Gelsemium, there is weakness, heaviness, and exhaustion. Califos again is indicative for nervous fatigue. Also, acid phos can be added because of debility after any mental exertion. Now we have come. Yes, we have come to the sixth remedy of our group, that is white chestnut, where the thoughts are repeatedly, and because of the repeated thoughts, there are repeated thoughts and repeated action. So as we see, every remedy have a different theme, from first chestnut bud to our white chestnut. Now here the thoughts are repeated and actions are repeated. So almost we can say the person is buried into the same thought processes. The flower generally blossoms from May to June. The mind keeps on wandering from one place to another, is not under the control of the thoughts. Because of persistent thought processes on the mental level, there will be too much confusion. The person will not have the ability to think that well and persistently keep on thinking about one or the other things into their mental level. That is why the action on the physical level will be confused. These thoughts are generally very much useless. They are not so much that they should be worried about, but the person cannot come out of that habit, and that will lead to a lot of stress. Again, this is a pattern which keeps on coming after one or the other, means one symptom will appear which will add on the other, and that will be adding up, like useless thoughts and stress, which will cause again restlessness and too much of nervousness. The physical symptoms may be migraine, having troublesome sleep, anxiety, stomach disorder due to anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Again, migraine is a type of the disturbance which is caused due to disturbed routine or persistent stress or persistent thought. When thoughts are persistent, the sleep is definitely going to get affected. And due to persistent thought, the work which is affected, that will cause anxiety. And when anxiety is also related with stomach, definitely GIT is affected when there a person gets anxious. And that is why stomach disorders are also seen. And also it is very useful remedy for post-traumatic stress disorder. Positively, it helps to bring back clarity, focus, and internal harmony. It helps to refrain from external influences when this remedy is indicative and helps patient with obsession and manias. This is our sixth remedy. Physiologically, the overactive cortical loops are affected, and the remedies which are homeopathically correlated are coffea cruda, which is for sleeplessness, anacardium, where there are two wills, impulsive thoughts are there. Nux vomica also is one of the remedy given for overthinking and mental exertion. Argentinum nitricum, anxiety with racing up of thoughts, and califos. This is the seventh remedy, which is having indifference, too much of indifference, apathy, lack of enthusiasm. These are all the emotional states which the patient gets affected, and that is why our batch flower remedies are indicative on particularly on emotions. The flower generally blossoms from June to July. The sign and symptoms or the mental aspect we can say is hopelessness, pessimism. This is mostly developed from childhood. There is lot of indifference, self-pity, psychosis or schizophrenia also is a part where this remedy can be indicative. It was traditionally also used as laxative, and it is the fruit of this flower is considered to be having rich source of vitamin C, and that is why it is used as tonic. It helps in menopause because there is indifference and apathy. That is why it is a very good remedy for menopause. It helps as a mood elevator, balances mental energy, and regains the focus. Physiologically, there is low dopamine. It reduces the motivation pathways. Again, we can add up estrogen level disturbances because it is indicative into the menopausal state. The remedies are sepia, one of the key remedy for indifference and resignation. Acid phos for mental and emotional apathy. Sulfur for lacking in interest and neglecting the duties. Pulsatilla for passiveness, dependent feeling, and resignment. This is a quick chart for the reference which I have created, where we can see the batch flower remedy, its theme, its positive potential, physiological aspect, and the homeopathic remedies for the same. Okay. So this was all about the third group of batch flower remedy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Devangi, right? Your
Yes,
name.
ma'am.
If anyone have any question regarding this or any a question regarding batch flower remedies, you can ask to Dr. Devangi. Participants, please raise your hands and ask question to her.
I would also like to add, ma'am, that these remedies have been prescribed in many of the patients, wherein this was very much helpful. Chestnut bud was very much helpful in the person having lacking of interest in studies. So it was given to a student, and the doses which Dr. Batch have said are to be given in the water potency, 6 drops in water. But many a time patients say that it is not possible for us to repeat it in water. So I usually give them in globules. So 4 to 6 globules, 3 to 4 times a day as per patient's willingness. And even in 3 times a day, if TDS it is given, that it works wonderfully. So that is where I had prescribed this chestnut bud. Again, clematis also was being prescribed. Honeysuckle I have prescribed many a times for procrastination, and it works very wonderfully. Clematis, as it says, for the dreamers. So when there is lacking of interest into the present circumstances, or they are persistently thinking about one or the other thing, wherein a child had come and her mother told me that whenever I see her, she is not attentive. She always thinks something or the other. If she is being called, she doesn't respond to what I say. And one day while we were crossing the road, she missed the step and she had fallen down. Because I had hold her hand, she didn't fall down completely. And on that basis, clematis was prescribed to her, and that worked very wonderfully. Now, when we see homeopathically and batch flower remedy, our purpose or our aspect is to give homeopathic medicine always. But when there are symptoms which are particularly on the mental plane, and the homeopathic portion or rest of the things are as per appropriate, like if there is no other changes in any other aspect of the patient and the mental symptoms are predominantly affected, then I feel this remedies works wonderfully. Also, mustard was prescribed into a patient with depression for a prolonged time, and when the patient couldn't come to the like causative factor or ailments from, even after repeatedly asking the patient because of persistent sadness, after giving mustard, the case got opened up, and then I could come to a right homeopathic medicine for that case. So that is how also this remedy helped me to lead to a particular prescription. While Gauze is one of the other remedy from another group, Gauze also helped me to cure or to settle a patient or palliate a patient with cancerous state, where the patient had a malignancy, and the wife came and told that he have lost interest, now he is completely hopeless and he is remaining too much sad, that he is feeling that now he is not going to recover anymore. After the administration of gauze, that patient started improving so well, though his cancer state didn't change, that remained the same, but still he was living life with full joy and happiness. He accepted it very well and he could recover from that part.
Doctor, we have half an hour more.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have any, if you can share some cases, means that will be helpful. And anyway, no one is asking questions.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No problem. I'll share the cases. So there was a 21-year-old male patient having failure in exams repeatedly. And when, despite of proper guidance, he was making a lot of mistake while studying and doing the same things repeatedly. Mother came and said that he is not showing interest in his studies. And I am telling him repeatedly he is going to the tuitions. He knows that if he will not follow a particular pattern, then he will fail. But still, he is doing the same thing again and again. That means he is not learning from his past mistakes. And there, because of the carelessness and his attitude towards his studies, this chestnut bird was prescribed to him, which helped him to recover from its state. And he started developing interest in his studies. His poor learning came back to a better learning, and his grades started improving. Not very recently, but with time, he started showing a good result. I will go step by step as per the remedy so that it is remembered well or understood well. The second one is acclimatis. Uh, a 32 to 35-year-old lady had come to me where she was forgetting daily tasks and always remained into thoughts and always had certain types of imagination. But how she described her imagination, she told that many a times my husband calls me, but he says that I'm not attentive. I'm attentive, but always he tells that I'm not attentive. At times it started happening that I was forgetting to put up salt in the food, and sometimes I was serving it randomly without seeing how the masalas are kept in it. And again it started happening that I was forgetting to collect my vegetables, and I was moving ahead while I have paid the money to the vendor, but I was not taking the food properly, means I was not collecting it. So when I asked her again and again why the state appeared or what was happening, I don't know, doctor, but this is happening recently, much frequently. And then she said, I asked her about the past thing, future thing, nothing like that. But she was always into some or the other thinking that what she would be doing the next. That means she was thinking about the future, and where the clematis was been prescribed, and which helped her to get back into the routine state again. Well, in this batch flower remedy, the beauty is you can give more than one remedy together, but I have seen even single remedies work wonderfully in certain type of cases. Honeysuckle we have already discussed for the uh, uh, procrastination. There was a boy who was almost around 19 to 20 years old, and he had a post traumatic stress disorder. He had lost his father. Along with it, in few months, he had lost his grandfather also. And because of that, he was constantly thinking about both of them, and he was persistently worrying or having grief about them. And that trauma was not healing even after 5 years. He was not able to come out of it after 5 years, where honeysuckle as well as mustard was prescribed together, and that brought him out of his depressive state as well as that traumatic state. Mustard we already have discussed. Now there was a person around 40-year-old male. He used to go to his office in the morning and coming back by 9. So his office was almost from 9 to 9, wherein he had to move a lot on the bike. And finally, while returning home, he used to get exhausted completely. He had no capacity to even have his dinner, but he was sleeping just like a log when sitting on the sofa. This was his complaint on the regular basis. Now it started happening from 2 to 3 months. So, with that concern, the patient had not come to me, but his wife had come that if can we do something homeopathically, wherein I felt the exhaustion, the fatigue, which is completely related to olive. And after prescribing olive, after 2 months, the patient was much better than before. Yet it was continued for a while till the exhaustion was observed to be completely well. In white chestnut, as we see that the thoughts are repetitive, there was a person having professionally from the software, and he had constant mental chatter. He was working with his projects and everything, but his mind was not stopping up. He couldn't control his thoughts every time. Even at night, he had persistent thoughts, repetitive thoughts, which also disturbed his sleep. And white chestnut had helped him to get out of this state. The last one, wild rose, which is like sepia. We see a lot of people with mental disturbances or menopausal stage, and then they are affected a lot with their resignation or indifferent state. So, almost a 45-year-old woman with a state of indifference from life, no desire to leave or have good mood with family or outside. The mood was replacing from sadness to happiness or from happiness sudden changes of mood. She was performing her daily activity like mechanically and was not showing any improvement in her symptoms, or she was not understanding that why she is behaving in that manner. Yes, sepia was indicative, which can be given because of the menopausal age. Well, wild rose also helped her a lot. Then sepia was given later on because the menstrual symptoms were also pertaining to sepia type of state. These were the remedies and their correlation. Ma'am, I would like to share certain things on emotional part. If
Okay.
yeah, just a moment. This is one mind map of physiology emotion correlation with Bach flower remedy. What emotion does? It affects the nervous system, which affects your endocrine system and immune system, and it affects the organ. So I have taken up in general, not related to the third group only, but the batch flower remedies which have the emotional correction as we know, and our homeopathic remedies work on the dynamic and constitutional plane. Physiologically, the amygdala over activation happens, increases adrenaline and cortisol hormone. Here, the batch flower remedies like aspen, mimulus, rock rose, and cherry plum, which are from the first group, are more affected. And homeopathically, aconite, arsenical, gelsemium, and stramonium. Because these are the when adrenaline increases and cortisol levels are disturbed, that means there is fight or flight situation, which indicates that there is persistent a good amount of fear and anxiety. That is why this group is indicative along with the homeopathic medicines. The second one, the worry and overthinking. The physiologically cortical hyperactivity is happening and sleep is disturbed. The remedies of batch flower remedy can be white chestnut and red chestnut, and the homeopathic remedies which correlate with them is Coffea cruda, Calcarea carb, and carcinosin. Where there is a lot of grief and suppressed emotion, the parasympathetic system is affected. There is thyroid disturbances and adrenal activity is reduced, where honeysuckle and mustard are the batch flower remedies indicative, and natramure and ignatia in homeopathic part. Now, hopelessness and depression, in this serotonin is reduced and dopamine is also reduced physiologically, and hypothalamic suppression takes place, wherein gorse, wild rose, and mustard are indicative, and aurum met, sepia, and califos are homeopathic remedies which can be correlated. Indecisiveness and lack of direction. Physiologically, frontal cortex is imbalanced and there are hormonal dysregulation. Scleranthus, wild oats, and cereto are the remedies from Bach flower remedies, and homeopathically, pulsatilla, lyco, and natramure are indicative. Mental and physical exhaustion. Again, adrenaline fatigue takes place and cortisol rhythm is disturbed. Olive and hornbeam are the remedies, and homeopathically, Nux vomica, China, and acid phos. Okay, ma'am, that is what I wanted to share.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have 15 minutes more.
Yes, ma'am.
The part is if any questions, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and please raise your hands and I will unmute and you can ask questions. Actually, your class about the, we have question here. Can we give flower remedies with the indicated medicine?
Generally, I do not do that, and I think we shouldn't do it because if we give our constitutional remedy and our Bach flower remedy together, first of all, we will not be able to understand how the medicines are working, whether the CR is working, the constitutional ones are working homeopathically, or the Bach flower remedies are giving their result. If at all we cannot reach to a constitutional remedy, then you can prescribe. That is what I feel. Or if you know that now your constitutional remedy is working very well, but the patient also needs certain type of emotional support, more emotional support, then you can go ahead with the Bach flower remedies, but not together on the very first prescription.
Oh, so you are giving the Bach flower remedy alone without any constitutional medicine. Then only.
Ma'am, if first I definitely go with the constitutional remedy. If at all in certain cases where the mental aspects are very strong and no other physical aspects are being observed, or we cannot reach to the constitutional remedy, or patient gets stuck into certain type of state only, then I give Bach flower remedy alone.
Okay. And you are getting the result also, right?
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Okay.
Gores have given very wonderful result in hopelessness, honeysuckle in the procrastination.
Okay.
And aspen and mimulus 100% they work with the state of fears. They give very good result.
Mimulus, right?
Yes, fear of known things.
So how long you are giving these Bach flower remedies to cure the fears or like such emotions?
Mostly for fear patient, in that fear patient, I had given him from 3 to 5 months.
Okay.
But persistently, there it doesn't come like as we see with the constitutional remedy that we have to give break or should discontinue for a while. But the patient itself says that now I'm better 10%, 20%, the way we evaluate with our constitutional also. But in that way, I had prescribed for 5 months.
No, not the particular fear, right? Fear of any fear
Fear, he had fear of presentation.
presentation.
Yes, fear of public speaking and presentation. No other ma'am symptom I had because he was what you say, he was a son of a teacher who had described about this state, but nothing else. No other symptoms were there with me. So I had given Mimulus. But it worked very well on him.
Mhm. Many of us are treating with bachelor remedies, but I think it's a with the partial knowledge, not completely. In between, we are giving some using some flower remedies also.
Yes, ma'am.
So your class about bachelor remedies is very informative because we are getting such classes, but even though repeatedly when hearing about the same medicine and all, that gives us confidence and thorough knowledge about that medicine. Dr. Sheila, uh, please unmute yourself. Okay, you can ask now.
Yeah, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. I have one question. These two
Yes.
flower remedies being giving together or mix each other and giving like that?
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Batch have said that you can mix 7 flowers together at a time, 7 flowers together. But at such majoritarily, what I have seen is from 2 to 3 flowers, it is enough. We may not have to mix much.
Okay. So
Yeah.
any potency is there, or you are giving a tincture, or how in which form you are giving these flower remedies?
Generally, ma'am, what Dr. Batch had done, he had done proving with the dews which are present on the flower, and from that, and what happened, I don't know whether, sorry, ma'am, I'm just telling you the history. Dr. Batch was working in a homeopathic hospital and he had developed bowel nosodes. And he was thinking that this bowel nosodes are sufficient to cure the patient, and that is why he had developed 7 bowel nosodes. But with time, he started observing that bowel nosodes were helping very well, but the emotional states were not getting proper. So, because he was into the homeopathic hospital, he found that this method is so perfect in prescribing the medicine. And then he started thinking about something which is better in aspect of bowel nosode. And then he started researching, and in his research, he found that these flowers, wild flowers, possess the properties similar to the bowel nosodes. And that is why 38 batch remedies. So he had developed it from the dews of the flower, and they are into the 30 potency only. So I give them in 30 potency.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
so the flower remedies that we are using is in 30th potency, right?
30th potency, ma'am.
So, not the
Many are, I had heard of 200 also, but Dr. Batch had prepared till 30th only, and that is majorly available in 30 potency.
okay. So, so that we are getting the remedies in 30th potency. I thought
Yes.
we will get as a mother teacher form also. No.
No, ma'am, only 30.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any more question? Lady, doctor.
I'm just listening. Thank you very much for this good presentation. I'm driving, sorry.
Okay, okay then. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm also teaching, ma'am, a course in our university. In our university, Parul University, we have CEP courses. CEP courses, that is continuous education program, wherein I am taking this batch flower remedy with my colleague also. We are two teachers together, where we take this additional course of batch flower
For your
remedy
students?
for
Or
our students, for any students, there any students can enroll, even practitioners can enroll. That is the way we conduct this value added courses. So where we
that is offline, right?
it is online, ma'am.
Online.
It is online, and UGC approved certificate is being provided from Parul University. So, at such, we do not require, we are homeopaths, so we can practice batch flower remedies very well. But as it is not being added much into the curriculum, we thought of taking it additionally.
Okay.
So,
Mm.
yes, ma'am. There, we had taught this remedies in the form of stories. Like we take a story of a particular story, and then we say, what is the theme of the story? The theme of the story is dreamer. If the theme of the story is dreamer, then the medicine is this. This is the way we had taught the students, as well as with the physiological aspect. So, why I wanted to correlate with physiology, because it is related to emotions, and when emotions are affected, our functions are disturbed, and when the functions are disturbed means physiological aspect is also importantly to be analyzed or to be noted. That is when.
Okay, doctor. We have one more question here. How long the batch remedy need to be taken to observe result? It is similar to constitutional. Is it similar to constitutional remedies or need a longer administration to see the result?
It depends upon patient to patient, as we see, or the symptoms or the prolonged duration of symptoms, but yet maximally what I have seen is mostly 6 months are sufficient with whomsoever I have treated. The last remedy which I was prescribed for the major period of time was 6 months, and even after stopping the medicines, 3 months have passed, but the patient is all good. While in that cancer patient, what I was saying, that patient is persistently taking the medicine, because that is the state, it is almost palliating his effects. So that patient is constantly taking the medicine almost since 6 months, more than 6 months it may be.
Okay, thank you, doctor. The question is from Dr. Benoy. Okay, thank you. You got the answer, right? Okay.
Thanks.
Anyone else? So how long the course is?
That course is of 30 hours, which is online. Yeah.
So what is the timing? I mean, during
Which it is mostly after the what do you say, ma'am? After the classes, after the college gets over. So we generally take it by 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. or so. 1 hour a day, 1 hour, 1.5 hour. At present, the current batch which is going on is almost over, and now they will have to appear for a MCQ exam of 100 marks, and then they will get the certificate. That is how we do. We do take many courses into this value added as a value added courses. One of them is of batch flower remedy, and the rest are also there.
what are they?
Interpretation of investigation, that is again with a few of the other colleagues. So from investigations, what you can analyze, how you can analyze better, which students generally don't know.
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
so that is how it helps a lot. Even from CBC, how to evaluate iron deficiency anemia or B12 deficiency, though they study in the physiology or pathology, but it is not remembered in future. What is the importance of CRP in each and every aspect of diseases? We take it.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
You explained everything well. So anyone can join for that course, right? If anyone
Yes, ma'am.
interested from IFPH also, you can also join.
Join. Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Surely. Certainly.
so let us know about when you are going to start the next batch. If anyone
Sure,
interested,
ma'am.
they can also join, right? Thank you
Sure,
so
ma'am. Sure,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you
Thank,
so much.
thank you, ma'am.
Wonderful session. It was so informative, and we got some time to discuss about the everything. Thank you so much. And now we are moving to the Malayalam session. I'm inviting. Thank you so much, Doctor, and thank you all the participants for joining with us. And now we are moving to the Malayalam session. I am inviting Dr. Mariamma John for moderating Malayalam session. You are welcome, Doctor. Please.
നന്ദി അജിനി ഡോക്ടറെ.